Well, good morning. Here it is. It's Tuesday morning, and today, of course, it's April the 8th. I hope you had a great Monday. I hope that you were able to, get this week started in the right way and get off on the right foot, hopefully. And anyway, just hope it was a day that you were able to get some things done. And now here, God has blessed us with the breath to breathe here on this Tuesday morning, and I certainly hope and pray that this morning finds you feeling well. I hope it finds you, well rested and ready to tackle the great opportunities that God has blessed us with here on this Tuesday morning. But anyway, this morning I want to share a devotional with you entitled Signs of Jesus' Return. In Matthew chapter 24, verse 3, it says, "Later Jesus sat on the Mount of Olives. His disciples came to him privately and said, 'Tell us, when will all this happen? What sign will signal your return and the end of the world?'" The Jerusalem temple was a magnificent structure, one that the Jewish people were exceedingly proud of. And Jesus' disciples, they were no exception. As they left the temple, they pointed out its beauty and its grandeur, to Jesus. And his reply must have, really shocked them. In Matthew 24, verse 2, it says, "Do you see all these buildings? I tell you the truth, they will be completely demolished. Not one stone will be left on top of another." I mean, imagine how shocked the disciples would have been if they'd known his prophecy, would be fulfilled in less than 40 years. Again, on the way, to Bethany, they stopped on the slope of the Mount of Olives, and the disciples' curiosity got the better of them. In verse 3, it says, "Tell us, when will all this happen? What sign will signal your return and the end of the world?" Jesus' reply, which is known as the Olivet Discourse, takes up the better of two chapters, of the Gospel of Matthew. Jesus revealed God's future plans for Israel, plans that are also discussed in Daniel chapter 9, chapters 24 through 27, and then in Revelation chapter 6, verse 1 through chapter 19, verse 21. He described the 7-year tribulation period, that will follow the rapture, as well as his own second coming, which will end the tribulation. The images are disturbing. There's war, famine, earthquakes, and persecution. False messiahs and false prophets will lead people astray. Sin will run rampant. Love will run cold. And through it all, though, the good news of Christ will be preached throughout the world. In Matthew 24, verse 21, it offers a sobering summary of the tribulation, especially the second half. It says, "For there will be greater anguish than at any time since the world began, and it will never be so great again." When the suffering reaches its crescendo, in verse 30 it says, "All the peoples of the earth will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory." And so the King will not be riding a donkey when he returns. He will not be meek, and he will not come in peace. He will come to conquer evil once and for all. He will come to usher in, his kingdom. He will come to pronounce judgment on, this sinful world. Kind of a sobering thought. And to those who, would try to predict the day of his second coming, based on the signs and the events, described, Jesus, he offered this reality check in verse 36. He said, "However, no one knows the day or hour when these things will happen, not even the angels in heaven or the Son himself. Only the Father knows." You see, only God knows when that day is going to come, when that day will happen, when when he will come back, when Jesus will come back. You see, Jesus wants us to understand that, his will is not for us to try to figure out, the dates of these end time events. That's why it's futile when we see people who have tried to do that. They're not going to know. His will, God's will is for us to be ready when they occur and to make sure that others are ready too. You see, we need to live every day as if it were the last, as if we did know that he was coming back. And that's the way, God wants us to live. He wants us to be ready. So I'm going to leave you with this question to reflect on today. How can you prepare others, especially unbelievers, for Jesus' return? Hope you'll reflect on that today. Think about it. And anyway, again, hope you have a wonderful day. And remember, Angie and I, we love you guys and we're praying for you. And Lord willing, I'll see you tomorrow morning. God bless you.